A woman is selling sweets when a little girl comes up and hides behind her. The woman asks what she was doing there, and soon another woman arrives and asks if she had seen a little girl. The other woman then describes the little girl, and the woman said that she had seen her. The other woman then asks where the little girl had gone, and the woman tells her to buy her candy. Another woman says that the sweets were too expensive, but the woman asks if she wanted to know where the little girl was. The other woman then says she would buy it, but she didn't have the money changed. The woman then says fine and takes her money. She then says that the little girl had gone to the other side. At that moment, the little girl realizes that the other woman was gone and leaves where she was hiding. She then thanks the woman and starts running to leave. Sometime later, the woman was selling sweets when another woman appears. She then offers it to her, and the other woman says she didn't want to buy it but needed some information from her. She then asks if the woman has seen a little girl passing by and describes her to her. The woman then asks what the other woman wanted with that little girl. The other woman then said that it didn't interest the woman and left. The woman then goes back to selling her sweets, and at this moment, she sees that the little girl was running to try to hide again. The other woman then starts running after the little girl and goes to the place where she was hiding. She then asks the little girl if she wanted to buy the candy that time. The little girl then starts screaming, and the other woman hears her screams and goes to her. The little girl then manages to escape the women and goes to the woman asking for help. The other woman then calls the little girl to go with her. At that moment, the woman stops her and the two run away. The woman then spots a police officer. Meanwhile, the other woman was running, trying to find them. The woman then goes to the officer and says that some women were trying to steal the little girl. At that moment, the other woman arrives, and the woman tells her not to steal the little girl. The policeman then tells her to separate and asks what was going on there. The other woman says that she just wanted her daughter back, but the woman says that she was lying and that she wanted to steal the little girl. The little girl then tells them to wait, but the woman says that she would sort that out. The little girl said she would explain what was going on there, but the other woman says she would sort it out. The other woman then said that the woman was crazy as she didn't want to steal her daughter, but the woman says that she was lying. The little girl then is sad that no one listens to her and runs out of there. The policeman then shoots the two to stop that, and that he needed proof to know who was lying. He then says that if they don't stop it, the two will be arrested. The other woman then says that she was the little girl's mother and could prove it. The policeman then asked who the woman was for the little girl. She said that she didn't know her, but that the little girl had asked her for help, and the other woman says that the woman was the one lying. The officer then apologizes to the woman and tells her that she was under arrest. The woman then says that it was all a misunderstanding and asks the police to ask the little girl. He then starts looking around and asks where the little girl was. At that moment, they hear the little girls calling for help, so they run to her. The woman then realizes that the officer had not put the handcuffs on her properly and manages to free herself. She then runs over to where they were. Meanwhile, the other woman had the little girl and she was trying to take her somewhere else, but the little girl didn't want to go with her. They then continue to run after them, but the woman, while running, ends up falling to the ground. The policeman then manages to reach them and arrests the other woman. The mother then shoots the little girl, never leaves her side. The little girl then apologizes to her mother and says that the other woman had started stalking her. Meanwhile, the woman was on the floor with pain in her leg. She then thanks the woman for her help, and the mother apologizes to the woman for the confusion. She then says that she had seen the woman selling sweets on the street and asks if she didn't have a steady job. The woman says no and that all her income came from selling sweets. The mother then said that she owned a company and that she was in need of employees. She then asks if the woman didn't want to work for her. This makes the woman very happy and she agrees to work for the little girl's mother.